Phase one or
Good evening, ma'am, and good evening, everyone. We are welcoming you all to the second day of our Power BI session. Now I am seeing familiar faces. Many of the students that have joined before have joined today also. That's the great thing that is happening today, and we are welcoming you all with open hearts. Aco- Uh, I'm uh, passing this to Shrishti. She will introduce ma'am again for the new faces, for the people who have joined today. Over to you, Shrishti.
For those who are not able to join us yesterday, let me quickly reintroduce Ms. Pratima Kadari ma'am, seen as a senior manager as Essential, with expertise in the Power BI and the data visualizations. See here, to help us through data and actionable insight and guide us in creating impactful dashboard. Today's session promises to be just as insightful and engaging us as yesterday. So let's get ready to learn more and grow your skills. So let's give a warm welcome to Miss Pratima Kadari ma'am once again. Ma'am, it's your turn.
Yeah, thank you, Srishti, for the introduction. So, right away, we'll get to the complete process. We will start out to Power BI. So, since many people had kind of missed out to yesterday's session, so I just thought that I'll be taking out from the complete scratch a quick recap to what we had done yesterday before we move on to the advanced topics today. So, let me share my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let me share. Is it visible? Yes?
yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
ma'am, very well.
Cool. Yes. So what we'll do, we'll be sharing the screen. So first and foremost page is this. This is the home page for Power BI desktop. So a person who hasn't attended out to yesterday's session, we had given a link to download the Power BI desktop version. And whenever you download it and once you open it out for the first time, this is how it looks. This is the kind of a file that I pre-worked yesterday, so you generally find it here. But completely, it's going to be empty when you're opening out for the first time. So we start with Excel kind of a file. So let us go with the Excel option, that is Excel workbook. So here, if you see, you have this particular browse link. So we have to enable the option of all files. That's when you can see the data sets here. So let us take to the same kind of a data set, that is a sample store, and open it. So now this is how you generally get to see, this is the CSV file. Since it's a very large file of a data set, we get to see only the first 20 sets of the information. That's the first 20 lines that you could find it, which is being a shortcut to show out to the real-time information. So now here you have three options: load, transform data, or cancel. So you have to go with the load option. Obviously, I'll be showing you with the process of how to transform the data, which we haven't discussed it yesterday. But first thing is to load that information here into the page. Yes. Okay. So this is the kind of a new version. So what I'll do, this is basically to show you the process of how you open a particular page and how you generally work with the dataset. So here, if you see, this is all the data set, whatever that we had worked yesterday, all the particular categories, all the rows and columns that exist in this data set is being present here. If you go to this table view, you can see all the information in a table format, whatever it is here in this data set. So if you scroll it below, you can see out to all the particular rows and columns. Next is this. This is basically a hierarchy. So if you have to know a hierarchy, a dependent hierarchy, the information, Then you have to select this option, which is a model view. You can see out to all the different set of options that exist just on a topic based note. So this is you call out to be a hierarchy. Next, it is a DAX query. So DAX query thing, I'll explain it out later because this is more of a formula-based syntax that we apply it. So once I go to the DAX concept, I'll explain it. So this is TMDL view. This is also a kind of a code editor that you generally use to edit the models faster and quickly. So this is basically interconnected at the backend to a data tool, a data pane. So let's go to the first initial crucial steps of basics. So what I will do is I'll just continue to the work that we had done yesterday so that I could explain it much more clear. Since already some people are aware of the foundational concepts, it's much more easier for you to relate better. So let me open this particular file that we had worked yesterday. So anyone have you any questions? Like, do you have something to ask? Because I guess can see out to a pop sound that's been emerging from this side. Okay. So this is how it looks. You just have to expand out all the information. So this is the data set, the complete set of information, the data of different set of rows and columns. This is the option we have to choose for giving a visuals. So these are all the few set of visuals that we had done yesterday. I'll just give a quick recap once again, don't worry. So this is a formatting option where you can format out to every single detail that you do it here in a visualized format. So here, if you see, these are all the few set of options that you can drag and drop based upon the choice that you make here for the column chart or a row chart or whatever kind of a donut graph you go with. You can generally go with this respective set of information. So this is a ribbon panel. This is a terminal panel. This is a canvas. This is visualizations. This is formatting. This is data. It's all comprises every single detail that you need in a Power BI. And in Power BI, you have more than 200 plus features involved. So let's get to the complete basics. So first thing is we have different set of options. Let's not go much deep into it. Let's get to the direct set of basics on all the kind of discussions that we had made yesterday. So first thing is we are going out with any kind of a visual. So whatever visual we wanted to go, we can go it. So I'll just give you one small set of visual just for the recap note for what we had done yesterday. So here, let us go with the stacked area. So this is the stacked area we had choose. So here what we do, if you see when we have selected stack area based upon the visual, based upon the graph or chart you choose, you generally get this respective information. So few particular graphs or charts you need x-axis and y-axis. For few informations you only need categories, legend or some sort of a breakdown information to do that respective set of visual impact to the dashboard. But based on the choice you make it, that's what the kind of options that you have to choose from this data sheet. So here what we are going to do, let us take the product name and discount. We are given x-axis, we have given y-axis. Now you can apply these particular options. So if you see here, you can see this particular information as a table. So when you click on this, you can generally see how it looks in format of a table. Because if you see the product IDs, you have different set of product IDs from here to here, every single information. And the discount, if you see, it depends upon the product, the kind of discount it's being enabled for every single product. So we have got a chart, we have got a discount information in format of a table because we have selected a table. Now you go to this information, go to the axis. So you have all the set of information. So now let's select product name, sort descending. Earlier, what was the option that we had enabled? That is sum of discount. So that's the reason the focus was only on the discount. So this is focused on the product name. For few particular products, you have a less discount. For few products, you have more discount. So you can see like based upon the product, how much set of discount you have it. So it again, though you have mentioned it out that you want it in a descending order, the kind of origination, especially when it links to the product name, is going to be placed in an alphabetical order if we have to push this data in format of a x-axis and y-axis. So that's the reason there is a kind of a intervention and change in between, that you also have a 0% kind of a discount value in between every single existence of the data. Next, if you see, you have different set of information, like whatever option you wanted to choose it, like to bring the visual calculations. So what we had selected here, we have selected product name, we have selected discount. So let us include the moving average. So what it is, moving average, it calculates an average of set of values in a given window. When you give a moving average, it generally gives this information. Let's It also gives the formula here. So this is the formula we generally have to use it if we have to enable the visual calculation. So there are different set of formats we need to imply for the visualizations. So you can apply the column format, you can apply the visual format, you can apply the measure format. So I'll show you every single use case on how you need to apply it. So if you see here, you have a discount, you don't have any values in the moving average because we have chosen the discount in the same y-axis. So what we do, we will close the discount and we will push profit into it. So we also getting the profit. Still you're not getting a moving average because we have given it out here in this particular information where this particular option is being already enabled. So you can't do it vice versa at the same time. So it should be either this or that. So now what we do, we move this particular average in a legend. So let's move the sales into legend. Okay. So now if you see, every single detail has been changed. Now if you go back to the report, okay, so this is how it looks. Now we have to go with the sort option. So this is the sales. You can see out to the sales based upon every single instance of the products. How are the sales going? So you can see the number, you can see the colors. Based on that, you can understand as per the product name what's the profit and what's the sales. So this is the profit, this is the product name. The sales information is here. It's been placed here. Now for the same thing, if you have to apply it from here, so you can also apply it from here directly. You can either use here option or you can use from the direct ribbon options itself. So these are all the shortcuts, you can call it out. You can up. So for example, let's go with a different set of information. Okay, let's go with a simple one so that it will be easier for you to understand. Okay. Now, first thing we'll choose is the subcategory. Next comes the sales. So we have the subcategory based on, because we know we have three subcategories here. So based upon subcategory, we generally can take the sales. So we also are applying the profit as well here. So if you see, you have included sales and profit both. So if you include both interventions, both referral input fields into a same place, you won't be getting any difference because it generally gets confused what kind of information that you're trying to.
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry to interrupt. Ma'am, can you
Yeah,
please increase the size of a chart?
Yeah, we
yeah,
are
sure,
not
sure.
understanding chats.
Okay, okay, let me open it.
Kindly also explain, ma'am, how it is happening. Suppose we are putting the data and selecting the some rows and columns, then how it is affecting our chart.
Yeah, sure, definitely. I'll tell you. I'll explain you every single thing. Don't worry. Yes. So what we had done here, we had included the subcategory because we know we have three sort of subcategories included. If you can see here in this, we have all these different set of subcategories like storage, art, papers, fasteners. So every single subcategory. So let us do one thing uh, for you to simplify the process because it's not visible for you people. So I'll go with the segment option instead of subcategory. Okay. Now if you go it below, you have different set of information. You can generally check the percentage. You can generally check the count, every single information. So right now it is by default it's being presented in count. Let's go with the percentage. So you get the details here in a percentage format. So if you see here, even though we have expanded, we can't see it properly because the choice that we made is basically for you to understand it. But since
Ma'am,
the information is
i-
tiny, you are not able to see it clearly. Tell me.
is there any data which can we see? Select that one which can understand the data, how it is affecting the chart.
Yeah, definitely. That's not an issue. We can generally change the chart. That's completely okay. So you can check out with the different set of options of whatever that you go with. So basically, this particular set of information, especially when it comes to the sales and segment, is basically uh, complementing each other. That's the reason it's been showing out in a merged concept. So this is again a kind of a different set of operation that goes in the advanced future, where we generally count the particular parameters parallelly. But since right now you people are confusing, I'll go it one step before. So I'll be going with the straightforward process first, and then I'll show you this process. So
Yeah,
for
ma'am.
example,
Uh, Beginners first.
yeah. So for example, let's go with the product name. So right now you have product name, you have a segment because if you see, you have these are all the few set of the product names, and this is basically the segment. Since you had applied the percentage, it shows in percentage. Let us go here in the count. So right now, okay. So this is basically in the count. So the reason why we had given out here again same in the percentage format is because we haven't done the changes here. That is no calculation. Now this is the count of segment, and if you see here, this is the segment value, and this is the product name. Now if the same information, if we are going with profit. Again, you get the same information in the percentage, even though it is a sum of profit. Because if you scroll it out here, you'll be seeing the sum information. You'll also be seeing the profit, how much profit you had received. You have received 100% profit for it. So based upon the choices you make, you generally get to see how much process of profit you received for that specific product and what is the profit that you had received, the percentage of the profit you
All products are giving 100% profit here, no?
Yeah, yes, because if you have placed the information in a descending order, so only the 100% comes first. It
Okay.
depends upon the order that we apply, whether it's ascending order or descending order.
Reverse the order, ma'am. What is coming?
It actually
Can
by
you?
default, it shows the descending order.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yes,
We can change it, no?
yeah, you can change it. So, for example, let's click on this particular option, new measure. So it could be anything, the kind of measure you wanted to give it. So, for example, let me show you. Okay. So here, let us see the name is sample superstore. You are clicking a new measure. You have got the information. Here you have to give the details. So what is the detail? Sum Wait a minute. Again, I have to select it. New measure. Yes. Sum. So what we do first? We select the options of the category. So we'll select the sales. We'll also select the amount. So where is the sales? Yeah, sales. And we'll also select the profit. Okay. Now you click on new measure. That's giving us some. So what we do here, we have to select a particular option. So what is the option we'll go with? We'll go with the sales option. Okay. So now if you see here, in relation to the sales, this is basically the table that we get it. So it's a kind of a complete sum of sale. It's a kind of complete profits that you generated from the sales for all the products that's being listed in a table. So this is basically a way you derive the expressions of whatever information you have it. So for example, right now here you have selected the sales. So let us go back and we select product name. Okay. Now you press enter.
These are the column names of the table.
Not column names of the table. You are giving the information like what is the information you wanted to know it. I'll explain you. Don't worry. I'll because it's a kind of a confusing topic. You are generally finding it difficult. So let me show you one other example. Okay. Mm, let us go with different operation average. So for average, what do we have? Okay. Let us select profit. So if you see here, you have to connect it. It's not getting saved. Let us redo it. Okay. First, let us select the option. Okay. We have x-axis and y-axis. Now we will go to the options. First is the customer name. Let us push the option of customer name in x-axis. Then we go with sales. Okay. Here, what we will do, in the same set of information, we'll be adding the segment as well. So if you see, this is not clear, okay, because you have a lot of options or it's not completely visible for you. So let us turn this into a different set of options. So right now what we do to simplify the process, we will show it as a table. So if you see for every single customer how much sales have been occurred, we generally get to see it. Now here what you do, you can generally change the information. So first thing information what you could do is basically the percentage of grand total. You can see this is the percentage of grand total. This is the kind of formula. So if at all you wanted to know the calculations, the formula to apply, you can take it from this particular report information. So you can do it directly. So next thing it generally comes here. Let me go to another page. So here in this, we have this transform data. So you have the data here. So this is all the data that you have it. Now what you do, you go to the report view, you click on the transform data. This particular data will help you to transform it. So if you have some sort of a null values, if you have some sort of an empty information, you can generally transform the data. You can remove the null values, you can replace the values, whatever you want to do it, you can do it. So let us generally go from top to down to see if we have any sort of null values in between. No, every single value has been loaded. So here, if at all you have a null value, so what do we do? We generally apply this information. So what we do is basically to remove. So if at all we are going to be going with the particular split option, so we can do that here. So you can generally mention out like if you want to remove complete row or complete column, if it is not required for your problem statement, you can remove it directly with these respective options. So if I want to kind of split the columns, if at all you want to kind of do the changes, like if you have to convert the information from lowercase to uppercase, digit to non-digit by number of characters, so that only those set of information will be visible. For example, if you have to choose the column, so you can choose this specific column as well, and for that you can apply the changes. So here you have all the columns chosen, so you can decide which column you need to go with. So you have to mention what columns you need it, what columns you don't need it. You can uncheck it. So if you uncheck it, that particular column will be removed from this respective table, whichever you are not using it or whichever is not required. For example, the postal code. So this is not a kind of information that is very much unique to work on this problem statement. So this is something sort of an irrelevant information, but since it is a part of a data, you had received as a text information. Okay. Now here, what you could do, you can generally find out two different set of options to sort it. For example, this is basically a query settings. So whatever changes you make it or whatever changes that you apply it, you have to click on close and apply. So that means if you have kind of done some changes, if you have removed some set of values, like if you have removed like first particular row or first particular column, because right now I choosing quantity. If I choose the quantity, every single element here gets selected. The complete row gets selected. Now if I have to remove, I can remove that column and I can click close and apply. So this particular column is completely removed. So when I click close and apply, and when you get to the kind of a report option here, by default, the particular information, the particular graphs, wherever you have used the respective column, that particular information based changes will be done automatically to these respective reports or dashboards.
in
Okay.
in in all the reports.
Yeah, in all the reports.
Okay.
So that is the kind of a one advantage that you have, that you
So
can also
you,
transform the data. Yes,
what
you have.
what you remove, what you unchecked, ma'am, in the data, the
Right
column?
now, I haven't unchecked it because we are using it all. So we can do it. You can definitely uncheck
Okay.
it and show it
Okay.
for you as well if
Yeah.
you want
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Um,
One at least so one for that.
yeah. Let us go with postal code because it's all the same information from start to
Yeah.
end.
Yeah. Remove it.
Yes.
Now uncheck.
Yes, so now here if you see, when I selected this particular column, you can see out all this information where you can format the information as well. So what is the information? The summarization. The option is right now in count. So you can generally select it and you can apply whatever kind of changes that you wanted to do it. So here let us go with the formatting option. So here the whole number is being given. So if this basically in format of a whole number, so you generally had recognized that this is a whole number and this particular option is being selected. You can either get it in decimal number also. So if you click on decimal number, been working on it. You can generally get it in a decimal format. So if you see, you
No,
have
no, 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 zero decimal. Yeah, you can increase the decimals. Then it will perhaps. Yeah, yeah, here.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I had. That's what I had given. So if you see, yeah, you have to change the number of decimal values shown for this one. So
Because zero is there, so it is not showing. If
yes,
you
yes,
say, now it is so.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to give the particular information like what are the different set of values that you have to increase after a decimal point. So how many decimals that you needed, you have to mention it out here. So you can also display the value in percentage or in dollars. So if at all it's a kind of a rupees, or if it is a kind of information that the particular amount is in rupees or something, or profits, or also if it is in rupees, you can generally give it in a dollar format too. For example, so here if you see, you have the sales. Let us select the sales. Now mention that you want this particular sales in format of a dollar currency. The dollar has been added here. So you can generally specify it, you can generally customize it as per how you want the information to be shown. Similarly,
Yeah.
yeah, you have something to ask. So now what you see, you have this particular option, right? The pink postal code option. You just go to this particular option. You have this information like postal code or barcode based upon whatever the option that you had chosen. So if you go to this particular sales, and if you want to understand from which particular place it belongs to, like latitude or longitude, you can generally check it. So if you click on latitude, you generally get to see what is the information. So here you generally get the information as it is because it is a sales, but internally it will tell you what particular country it belongs to. Since all the information here is only for the same state, same country and same region, here you won't get a kind of a complete details here when you go to this report format. But if you have a kind of different set of countries, different set of cities and states, you generally get to
What
see the changes.
what made it difference with the latitude? Latitude did not change anything, no? Because
Yeah,
latitude format is not there, no? Right?
right now it is not changed because it is having the same sort of a location for the complete document. So if you see, every
Mhm.
single document has the same set of information. It's all United States only. Everything belongs to the same country. Right. Yes.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Now you can generally sort it by columns. You can also select the columns from here also. So for example, if you go with a okay, if you just go with a profit.
No, but I think this latitude is going in data category. If the data entered in that column is of the format of the latitude, then it will,
Yeah,
I think,
definitely. Yes,
right,
definitely.
right. Because we have entered the data in the dollar, so
Yes,
it
yes.
will not recognize it. Am I right? No?
Yeah, that is definitely true, but obviously it has a feature here in the Power BI to auto select the respective category whenever you choose that respective option. So if you are into a option of sales, so if you are
Hmm.
into this particular option of sales, if you select the latitude, it automatically searches for the particular section where you have a latitude and longitude information.
Okay, automatically it will search which column is having the latitude longitude.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, because it
okay.
has the
Or
flexibility of AI involved into it, so it has a kind of a convenience that you can find where that respective location is being selected.
okay, okay.
Yes. Now, if you see, let us go to the option of profit. Yes, the profit is here. So this is all the particular profit. If you see right now, it is being not selected. The ascending and descending order is not selected, so it is being mentioned out here in a random format. Now the profit is selected. Now you can apply the minimum and maximum to it. So we understand what is the minimum profit and what's the maximum profit. So if you are applying the maximum profit, so if you see 20,000 above, so if you have mentioned out maximum profit, you can generally categorize which particular mode it should belong to. So information is in dollars. So next comes this. It is being scrutinized to a specific conversion so that only the first set of values is being visible. So this is again a kind of decimal format. So if you see, if you are giving out like 4, you generally get the values in a 4 decimal format. Even though right now you have given a dollar currency. So for this, what you do, you can go to this particular place. Let me open a new one. Here you have the option of a slicer. Okay,
Slicer.
yeah, slicer. So here in this slicer, you can generally give the details. So what was the details that we selected earlier? That is profit. So first thing here in the field, we'll be pushing profit. So for this profit, this is the slicer. It's basically like you're giving a range. Within a range, if it is below maximum profit. Like if it is below a kind of a thing, it is a minimum profit. If it is above, it is a maximum profit. For example, if you see here, okay. So this is the let us go with 4,000. So this is the kind of a profit that is going on a higher end. So this is the maximum profit. Anything this is
Ma'am, please
below,
zoom it.
yeah, yeah, sure. Clear? Yes?
Better.
Yeah, okay. Let me go it open then in that case. Yeah. Yes, so this is how it looks when you have to click the slicer. So slicer is like slicing the information only whatever you specifically require. So you don't have to slice all the single data into the feedback. So like we need to know like if it is generally within this particular buffer limit, it is having a maximum profit, and anything that is beyond this limit is basically coming under the category of minimum profit. So you can write it out here. You can generally give the text box. We have this text box here. Since we had generally kept this longer, this has been much more smaller. You can write. So you can generally give the dynamic values of the data as well, like whatever the information that you wanted to name it. So what is this
Yeah.
actually?
How you get this box?
Okay, I'll show you once again. So you have this particular thing. This is a add a text box to your report. It's basically like adding the text information. Yes, you just click on this.
Okay, ma'am.
You can generally do it. You can generally use custom option. You can write it whatever you want to. If you have to add a value directly, you can add it. So when you click on this value option, you get to see what you wanted to write it. So you can create a dynamic value. You can just write a question, whatever you wanted to place it there. So whatever you wanted to include it, you can generally write it and save it. For example, if you want to name your value, so what was the information? That is a profit information. Adding a max from buffer to profits. Okay. So if you see the
Which
maximum,
which part of the profit it is showing from the table?
it is showing the first thing. This is the maximum value, right? From the profit.
Max. This is maximum profit.
Yeah, maximum profit.
Okay.
Yes.
And the slicer, what slicer is doing?
Slicer is going to be giving this particular category. So if you go to the table, you will
Yeah.
understand. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is the
Go.
kind of a buffer limit you're mentioning that this is under the maximum profit.
Yeah. This is six. 599.
Yeah.
Go to the table where it is there in the table.
Okay, let me show you.
Uh,
In profit,
short it, ma'am. Those are it will be easy.
actually, this is basically an average option. So if you see here, you also have the options here like 12,000, 30,000, 21,000, right? So this is not a kind of a complete option of every single profit. They had done an
Okay.
average ratio of it. And in that average ratio, they have kept the maximum buffer limit and minimum buffer limit for it.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So
This profit is the average, right?
yeah, this profit is the average. So for this, you're calculating an average and you're showing it out whenever you click a slicer. It takes the value information, it collects the information of the profit from this respective data. And here, when it's pushing out, it calculates the information in an average
It
mode.
means it is calculating in the back end, right?
It is calculating the backend. So right now, from last 2 years, earlier it was completely different. Everything we had to do it manually. But right
Okay.
now, AI feature is being enabled. Everything happens at the backend. The only thing is you have to place it out wherever it's required, as per the chart or as per the graph that you had worked upon.
What he has calculated in the back end, it is not visible, right?
It is not visible. So that is not visible
Okay.
because it generally happens in a database.
Then how we will verify that whether this information it is giving is actually what we required?
Because this is basically auto calculated, right? So this is not something you are doing it out of
Hmm.
manual calculation. The
Okay.
only thing what you could give it from your side is giving the slicer limit. It's basically changing the option like how much is the maximum variable and how much is the minimum variable. Only this is the only control you have it from your side. And for
We,
this,
we
yeah,
have to understand the slicer is doing what we have to understand from the definition, right?
yes, yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay.
It's
Okay.
just a kind of maximum limit and minimum limit to understand.
Ah, got it. Got it. Got it. No, a number of things are there. No?
Yes,
The
yes,
same thing. A number of calculations are there, but in the background,
yes,
we have to just learn which calculation is for what purpose,
yes.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
because
Okay.
the main intention of this particular Power BI tool is to present the information, show the dashboard,
Hmm. Okay.
understand
Okay.
what it is what. So if you're kind
Hmm.
of showing it in a graph format, you should also explain it, right?
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Okay.
To
Okay.
explain it,
Okay.
you have to show it in a visual format. You can't
Hmm.
write it out something like a text information.
Hmm. Okay.
So what's happening? This it's always auto selecting. Okay. So
Ma'am,
now if you see for this, yeah.
ma'am, could you once show how did you get this slicer?
Yeah, wait a minute. I'll stop the screen sharing and share once again. There's some issue with Bobby, I guess. It's auto selecting. Uh, yeah, you want me to show once again? I don't
Yes,
know
ma'am.
what's happening here. Let me come to this page. Yes, so few people are asking out to the question. So let me give you the answer. So you'll be getting a certification. For that, I'll be sharing a Google form where you can fill out to that respective form to get the certification. And at the same time, I'll also be giving you the respective information, whatever is required. So just feel free to ask to any kind of information or resources you need from myself. So let me start with the screen sharing. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am, it's good.
Oh,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. So I'm opening the file once again. Okay. So what we had done earlier is basically we had opened the slicer. So let us, okay. So where is the slicer? It's here. So this is the slicer. So what we had done here, we generally had given the profit information. So when you click slicer, you only need one set of information. Since you can generally minimize or maximize the limit, only one time. So if here, if you see, if you select the profit and push to the field, because you are selected as slicer, you generally get a one input field, that is a field, whatever you want to slice it. So if you see, let me open it big. So I have kept the slicer limit, okay, to 3800. Okay, this is the slicer limit. Now what we had done,
Negative sign, ma'am.
sorry,
Negative sign in the profit. Could you zoom in? Zoom in.
yeah, sure.
Very less. Yeah, the profit showing it is negative, na?
No, it actually generally shows the, because it is a profit information, it is a slicer information, it generally shows the values in minus only. But that is the way it declares the profit information or any kind of a information that is in format of a value. It's not a minus, so that is not a minus, that is a representation saying that this is a value number. Okay?
It is a value, just showing it is a marker to
Yeah,
show
it is
it
just
is
a
a value.
marker. Yes, it is just a marker.
Okay. Okay.
Ma'am, it is according to the data that is in the file,
Yes.
or it is arranged in descending order.
No, actually we have this data here. So let me open the profit thing. So this is the profit table. If you see here, this is all in the format of a profit. So what we had done, so this particular profit, everything has been averaged. In the back end, the average happens because when you are selecting a slicer, it takes all the values from the data from the category profit. So everything, because you can't add every single value, whatever is being present in the profit. It should have a minimum value, it should have a maximum value, either it should have a buffer limit. So you can select only as per the slicer format. So you have to give, if the value is,
Could you select the minimum value of this profit category? Which is the minimum value in the table?
yeah, sure. So here you can see the minimum value. The minimum value is 8,399.98.
And maximum value?
Maximum value is basically the, wait a minute. Where
Ma'am,
is,
I think it's showing the negative values are the losses incurred and the positive values are actual profits.
Yeah, ma'am.
And
Kindly,
minus 60,
kindly
minus
go to the table.
6,500 is the loss, the
But,
maximum loss, and the highest positive value is the maximum profit.
I'm
yeah. So,
confusing some, or perhaps it is showing from a minimum to maximum, right? No?
yes, right.
It's from
Then
the table itself, no?
go to the table, ma'am. Please go to the table
Yeah, okay.
and short the table. Which is the minimum value and which is the maximum value. Let us see
Yes,
what
so you
is
can
happening.
sort it. So if you see the
Let us
descending,
see what is happening because we are confusing it.
yeah, so if you see 8,399 is a maximum value.
And minimum, go to the minimum.
Yeah,
And
minimum
Yeah,
is minus
yeah,
9.
so these are
It
the values
is,
from the
yeah.
profit value
That's
from the
why
table data itself. That's why
yeah,
Yes,
the
yes,
slicer is
yes.
showing these values.
that is what I was asking because I was understanding, but I was not confusing it. Okay, okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no problem. Yeah, sure.
Now it is showing up this line with a uh, minimum to maximum, right?
Yes, minimum to maximum.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, now for this, you can also show this information in format of a table as well. So you can see out here, when you click on table, you can see
Yeah,
also all
yeah, yeah.
the
Correct.
values.
Yeah. We can understand through that whatever we were doing there, right?
Yes, right.
Mhm.
So the next thing we generally get to see here is basically this information. You can generally go to these respective filters. So what is the filters? First thing is drill through. So when you click on, it generally brings a cross report. So what happens? Generally, whatever reports that you had used earlier, for that also this particular information will be shared at the backend. So here if you are seeing, we have given out to all these respective visualizations. For this also, this perspective set of the information for the slice of profit, whatever that we had set here, it will be shared out to all the information here at the back end, here and here, whatever the compilations that you had done earlier. Irrespective of not owning the information here in this specific page, still everything is being fed on a self-analysis or on an automatic mode. Okay?
Ma'am, I have one more question. So, since you selected the slicer, in what cases we will get the checkbox and in what is this slide?
Okay. So in the cases where you have to give the count effect, for example, okay, well, let's take the example of checking your weight. So you are kind of giving a dashboard or creating a dashboard to understand your BMI ratio, the calculations, the weight understanding to see if you are underweight, overweight, or a normal weight. So how do we do that? We just give that measurement. So we give that respective slicer as a visual format to understand you are in a buffer limit, you are within the weight or you are over the weight. It generally gives that respective information. This is not something you do it manually. You just set the information and below to that whatever the graph that represents that you are underweight or you are overweight, that generally presents below. So it's just a way to communicate it visually. That's the reason we use the slices.
Yeah, ma'am, got it.
And ma'am, this slicer, this slider form of slicer, so will it show values between those values, or it will always represent only the values present in that column, profit column?
It will only take the information from the data set only. It will not go beyond that information that's not existing in the data set.
But in between, I'm talking in between, like there is a value between plus $100 and plus $150. There's no value. After $100, there is a value of $150. So will you show $125 as profit in this slider slice?
Yeah, it will show because that is a part of the data, right? So if it is a part of the data, if it is being activated or generated here in the respective set of a table, then definitely we show it out here in the slicer.
Yeah, ma'am, but I'm saying 100 is part of the data as a profit, 100 is part of the data, and 150 is part of the data. So if I slide it, so will the slider reflect the value of 125 profit?
I didn't get you. Could you repeat?
Ma'am, in the profit table, suppose I have two values. One is $100 profit and another is $150 profit. Say for
Okay.
example. So if I slide the value, slide this slider, so will it show 125 as a profit or not?
No, it won't show.
Okay, sure.
It
Okay,
won't show. It
that's what
will
I
give
just was.
either 100 or it will either give 150.
Okay, so these this is basically sliders of all the values,
Yes, yeah. Because
distinguished. Sure.
everything should be trained, everything should be spoon feeded. That's when it gives the right set of dashboards or reports. That's the reason we have this option called transform data. If you have to transform the data, you can do it through this respective formatting option.
Right.
To transform the data or to change the values, or if you have like common set of values, if you have like if you have one particular category, like for example you have a apparel section, that is the kind of a category you have it, and if you have to replace that apparel section naming with a different section like lifestyle or something else, so if you do that, what happens, the every single information that's being connected in conjunction to a apparel section or category changes out to the lifestyle section. It is being replaced, and when you click on close and apply, the particular fresh details have been applied to the dataset. Yes,
Right.
Madam, this
Got it.
is a
Got it.
profit showing per product, right?
your profit is showing per product.
Can you just pull up this bar chart or line chart to show how the changes is happening with the chart in the same page, like in the
Okay,
slider? Yeah.
yeah, sure. Let us open the bar chart or column chart. Let us go with the column chart. Okay, so
And
first,
take the product name and the profit.
yeah, product name and profit. Product name and profit. Can you see?
Yeah.
You can
Go
scroll it down
to the
here.
slider, ma'am. I mean,
can scroll it and you can see out all the profit for every single product. So these are the two particular products, the first two products which is generating higher profit.
But there is no labels for the this thing y-axis, no? I mean, no values given for the y-axis.
Y-axis we have given the value, right, based upon the profit. We have given 0k, we have
Move the
given,
slider once more.
yes.
So the graph size is changing over. I don't know. Oh yeah, something is happening now. Could you
That's what,
just?
because I have selected this, right? When I
Oh yeah.
selected one single entity, it only gives that respective information. The only that information will be getting highlighted.
Uh, okay, so that will okay.
Because as I mentioned, it is basically interactive. So it will automatically connects out at the back end, like whatever option that you choose.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So based upon choices you make. So if you selected this, this gets highlighted because if you take a cursor over here, you can see out what is the product name, what is the profit,
That's right.
what are the respective details.
Yeah.
For example, if you see here, we had seen out here in the earlier first section that if
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
selecting a
Yesterday
corporate,
we saw, no? Yeah, correct.
if you're selecting a corporate, only the corporate relevant information is getting highlighted.
That's right. Yeah.
It generally creates a shadow effect, so you only get that highlighted information.
But these changes will get reflected only in this page.
No, it will, yeah, definitely, because it is in the same page, it will reflect only in this page.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so if you see, this is the basically a kind of format that we had discussed
Yeah.
yesterday to create the categorize information in format of a table.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes, and
Just
here,
go to page two once, ma'am.
huh? Page
Just
two.
go to page two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, the slider, I mean, is cutting the data. No, I mean, it is like it is helping us to see what is relevant
Yeah,
in terms of profit.
yes, as per the problem statement, because there are two cases here. What people do, either they generally go to transform data, and whatever they don't require it, they try to remove that respective data. So only as per the data that they have it, they do the analysis part as
Yeah.
per what it is required. Else, what people do if they don't want to work on data and make it a kind of a hassling process, so they create a slicer option.
Yeah. Got it,
Like
ma'am.
make it more specific. Based upon the slicer, you create a specified generated graph, and based on the slicer, you will understand that's what it relates as per the graph it's mentioned.
Yeah.
Ma'am,
Thank you.
excuse me, could you please slide the last pointer to towards the first starting,
Yes,
towards starting point, not towards the end, the starting point.
yes.
Could you please add some values like other two or three values? That's what I asked.
Where?
Shorter, ma'am, shorter, not long. I just want to see
Okay.
like how much data is it truncating the data or is it not truncating the data in the graph.
So if you see, it is not showing any data here in the graph. Now it is showing something because this is how the value started here. You can see it here. Let me minimize this. Okay.
So the slider is truncating the data, graph data based on based on
Yes,
its
based upon
position.
the slicer. And this is basically applied only if you are using that information in that respective page. So if you are moving out to a next page, that doesn't apply. It is only for that same set of space. So what happens is if a particular person is working on a problem statement, first a person will distribute the use cases, a particular objectives, particular task or use cases a person wants to work upon.
Right.
Based upon the use case, they generally give this here. They give a rename and give a specific name of a use case for every single page that they create. And whatever the graphs they show it out in that respective page is relevant with the information that you are presented out in format of a text information or in format of a graph. So everything is being conjectured, everything is being interrelevant to each other. So it just gives a clear detail, and moreover, when you do it in this kind of format, like page one, page two, and page three, so what happens is you'll be having different set of pages or different set of use cases for a single project. At the same time, it generally gives a kind of an effect in format of a slides as well. So it will generally give that slides kind of an effect internally. Yes.
It's a very useful tool, ma'am. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it is a very useful tool. So here you have this option called narrative. Let me, oh, again it got interchanged. Let me show you. This is a kind of, again, same thing. Okay, let me auto select it. Yes. So this is a narrative, so you can also use the Copilot preview as well. So because with this particular option, it will enable the uh, customized AI. So here in this Power BI, you have an inbuilt AI. If you want a control over a customized AI, you can generally use this narrative option. So because it is a kind of a narrative, it will only show the option of text. You can only apply the changes of alignment, font color, or font type. So now if you go with a visual thing, let me do it.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, can we query out like predefined filters for the dashboard to show up?
Can we
Like,
carry out?
I mean, like if we generally want that the filters, I mean, here we specifying like what filters the user wants to know about. Like,
Mm.
if we want to know about, if we want to know, we want to make the user see the predefined filters. So how can that be done?
Yes, sure. I'll explain you. So here also you have this particular option of question and answers. Like if you have to ask any sort of a question and answers here as a part of the visual understanding, you can ask it out here. So because these are all the few set of things that we have used recently, so this particular options comes first. So now if you, as per the question that you asked, the filters you can apply it. So you'll be having this particular option called new measure. So let me go to that respective option. Okay. So here in this, you can give the measuring calculations. So what measure you wanted to give. Everything comes in format of a formula. So here what you want to calculate, you can give it. So first let's just take an example. Okay. Now let us give here some. Okay. So this is basically from boxes, or what we do is shift mode. Mm, 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 based upon the sales. So if you give this sum based upon the sales and you give enter, so what happens here, you can push this information to a table. Okay, generate a table here. In the table you push the sales, you push the dot, where is that segment. If you see here, you are getting the sum of sales, you are also getting the segment because you have three segments internal.
Yeah, yeah. Something similar to the pivots. Huh?
Yes. So you can generally push all the information whatever you want it. So you can also check the profit as well. So if you can see the segment, as per the segment, we have both sales and also a profit.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
huh? You're saying something?
No, I was just. I mean,
Okay. Now you can also check the quantity. So you can getting to see the quantity based on segment, how much quantity we have it. So like this, you can generally create a complete table here. Let me show it below where it's having a place. Okay. Now what else you can add it here? You can add a discount as well. Because these are all the quantifying information. This quantifying information are easily accessible, easily converted, easily being understood through the graphs. That's what you generally represent out in format of a table. First you do the graphs, then you give a table beside so that to understand the difference, understand the segmentation format as per what you had chosen. For example, here every single entity here, sum of sales, profit, quantity, discount, everything is the quantifying information that is all related based upon one single core segment category. Because with this respective category, this all these particular internal segments have been segregated. Now, if we remove this segment, so again you won't be having any kind of an identity for it. So what is the kind of but one particular category that you can use or one particular section that you can use from the data set that can replace the segment? Yes, any idea? Hmm? No? Okay, let me show you with different things. So right now we know segment is a core information. Next core information we have is a category. The category, if we put category into it, this is again a kind of a noun information, you call it. These are all subnouns, and this is basically a noun to where you generally bring the relation, you generally generate that reference out of it. So the furniture or this office supplies or technology, everything is being related, correlated as per the sales, profit, quantity, or discount. Because ship date and ship mode we cannot use it because it is being independent for every single product or every single purchase from the customer. So based on that you have to choose that respective option that should match out to the category it belongs to. Yes.
And basically, then we can put like the numerical variable here, to which we can apply like what function do or not. Can you
Yes,
some
right. So you also have this other card called multi-row card. Sorry, again the same thing. Let me come out. Yeah, multi-row card. So you can also create it out in a row format as well as a multiple set of information that you're populating together as a visual. So for example, let us again take the same set of information like profit, quantity, sales. Yes. The reason why we aren't accepting everything is basically like we have given the information here parallelly earlier in the table. So it's not able to relate which one is the right choice that you're going with. So you can't do it out here in a single page. So what we generally have to do here is we generally push the profit, and after that we have selected quantity and sales. We have generally pushed that information to the filters option so that we apply the filters from here. So we had selected the option on by default because this information is being auto pushed. Since here we have already having the correlated information here. So now to this you can give the information like what you want, whether you want it in a summarized format or you want it in a categorized format. So let us select a category. This is the category it belongs. So around you have around 10 set of categories that's being used. So which is what you generally had activated here category. Now if you come down, you have given the sales. Click on sales. So here you have selected the option of is all allowed will through when. Then you use category. You can generally get it in a categorized format. Now again what you do here, you generally get to see based upon the categories, based upon the information, you can build that respective information. So here if you see, if you export it, like if you enable this particular information like new visual calculation, let us go with the mm, percentage of parent. So this is how it generally shows. This is the sum of the profit. This is the percentage of the parent. So whatever you want to do it, you can generally apply it. So if you see, this is a Y field. This is a collapse information where you generally have to give the respective information and also the same kind of an access. So only here, if you see, you scroll it above, you only get a one field here. So this is by default you generally take the consideration of Y field only whenever you are inputting out to some sort of measuring calculations. As the default, you can't go to X field because what it generally understands is when you have to select a particular relevancy input field, that's when it will understand what kind of core field you are referring to because every single data is being already figured here. So you need to understand what it refers to first so that you get that respective set of profit here. So now if you go to the same set of information, so where is this? Let me go to another page. Go to this field map. So if you see, you can fill the map. And for this, obviously, you need a latitude and longitude information. If you have it in a data set, you can use that to fill the map. You can generally push that information of latitude and longitude to the x-axis or y-axis or a location, and you get the respective location here as well. Even the map feature is also inbuilt as a part of an AI specification. Yes.
Ma'am, we can specify the latitude and the longitude. And when we have like the location in particular on the text format, then how will we do it?
If you have it in text format, for that you have to give a kind of replication. We have to replace that text information with the latitude and longitude of that respective places that is being mentioned in a text format. So you have to replace it using the option transform data.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. So once you do that, definitely you'll be able to pull that latitude and longitude information and it takes by default. So what happens is if we have a kind of a data set which has different locations, like if it is having around 5 locations, you generally call it out like a 5 set of locations you have it in a complete data set. So what happens when you generally place it here or pull this information into this particular map section? So it generally covers that circumference of all the locations that is being placed in the data set. That means it doesn't show only the single space or single location that you had enabled or you have been used in the data set, but all the 5 locations you'll be creating a circumference and that circumference based information will be shown here.
Okay, ma'am. Thanks so much for explanation.
So everything has this respective information. And if in certain kind of a cases, what happens whenever you're working on a Power BI report, suddenly there'll be a kind of an intervention of the backend. So it could happen at any time. Right now, I had got an intervention, so again I had to reconnect it. Okay, so that's the reason sometimes it could happen at any point of a time even for people who are starting for the first time as well. It depends upon the OS and also the supporting environments that's being running at the back end. So in that case what happens is first you have to restart your system and then you have to click this refresh so that it will access all the latest data and whatever that work that you had done earlier it is not being removed so that you don't get the deleted information of whatever work that you had done earlier. So it auto saves the all the information. It generally collects out from the backend like whatever the work that you had done, and it shows out in that respective pages. Because for that, the kind of reason that it generally happens is there's going to be some sort of a timeout error at the backend, especially in a database management system of Power BI tool. So that is a kind of unexpected cases that happen. So that's the reason it's very important for me to convey this information so that you don't lose the kind of a work that you always do when you get into a Power BI tool. Okay. Yes.
Got it, ma'am.
Yes. Now next thing is this particular option enter data. So if you have to create a data completely from the scratch, you can use this particular option enter data where you're creating a table. You have to create row, you have to create table. But obviously this option is basically useful or variable if you have small amount of data. But if you have large amount of data, you cannot write every single information, constructing it in format of a table and write all the respective data. If it have more than 200 data inputs or 500 data inputs, that's definitely practically not possible. So what they generally do is they either web scrape the information of the data, else they generally use the existing data that you find it online to work on the respective dashboards. So here you generally can do it. If you click on edit option, you can see this is all the kind of an edit where you can generally push the information. So again, it goes to the same option of transform data. Like whenever you open a transform data, that's how it looks. The same set of options that you get to see here. You can add the columns, you can remove the columns, you can keep the rows, you can give the grid format, everything that whatever you wanted to do it, you can do it. And whatever changes that you make it, it shows here. So whenever the changes you make it, it doesn't show out as a complete project. It show out as an added extension. So this is if this is a kind of a data, and for this you are doing some sort of a changes that appears here as a separate entity. And when you click on close and apply, that's when the information gets merged. Okay. Yes. So if you see, it's mentioning that there are pending changes in your queries that you haven't been applied because I have opened the transformation option. So I am discarding the changes because I don't want to apply anything new to the current data set. Okay. Now next thing we have here is the card. So this is basically a card where you generally get to, if you see if it's looking like a business card, but because that is the kind of a option that you had given out here to enable it. But when you pull this particular kind of a data, only that respective information shows in format of a card. For example, let's go with a segment, and let's go with where is the sales. Sales. Okay, so let's go with the next page. Yes. So here also you can use it out as a category. You can find it here. But if at all you wanted to do it as a separate section, then you can again add it out here. So for example, if you generally do it vice versa, if you go with sales here, and if you go with what is that information, okay, let us give it profit. Okay, let us first remove this. Yeah, so if you see, the profit is being added, the sales has been added. So if you see, this is the profit you get for the sum of the sales. It is being interlinked at the backend. So you won't be able to see every single information here, but the particular information is being fed at the backend. So it's basically like you're giving some sort of acronymous intervention at the backend where you could read the data from, like how it generally work, like writing a kind of a programming code. You're writing a code where you're generally getting the information, like if you're especially in Python programming language, if you're kind of calling a class, if you're kind of calling a function name, wherever it is required, you can do that. But similarly, it happens here also, even though the front face is different, you'll also have a back face. So the whatever information that you feed it here in the drill through is all the back information. The information that you added here is the front information. So for example,
Ma'am,
if you,
excuse me,
yeah,
ma'am.
yeah,
Ma'am, how did you get this option below the keep all filter?
this one.
Yeah, yeah, ma'am. Please.
Okay, this one, actually, this is the option. Like when you select the card option, so you get this
Yeah,
option.
ma'am. I have selected.
Yeah.
No, ma'am. I'm not getting this option.
Why you're not getting? Okay, let me show it from first.
Add drill through field here. These option.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
this
This.
is how you get it.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, so
Yeah,
first,
this.
first thing what we are doing, we are going to push the sales here. You got the
Yeah,
information
ma'am.
here.
Sale.
Next,
Yeah, ma'am.
you are pushing profit here, and next you are
Okay, ma'am.
segment here. You have to take it to same place. Okay. Now, if you see,
Okay,
it's
ma'am.
been added here. That means you're not showcasing all the information here, but at the back end, you're interlinking this information so that whenever you call this information, it automatically reads this information at the back end too. The profit and the segment
Yeah,
information.
ma'am. Now I get.
Yes. So that way you can generally generate it. So if you have to add further analysis to your visual, for this particular feature, you won't be getting it here in the Power BI desktop. That is a version that you get to see this particular feature in only premium and also a pro version. Okay. Now if you see here, this is the particular thing. Here you are adding the information like whatever thing that you wanted to add it. So you can generally change the color. Just give you generally change the color. You're displaying the units, so how you want the units. So units is basically like the kind of a pricing or kind of a relevation that you give for that respective information. So if you click thousands, you get it in thousand format. If you click billions, you get it in million format. If you click trillions, you get it in trillions format. If you have kept auto, by default it goes to a million format. Even for this, you can also value the decimal values. So if you give 4, you get it in a 4 ways format. If you give it in 2, it has been approximated value that's been showcasing here. So based on whatever information that you want to add it. So if you off the text wrap, the text wrap will be off. Next, the category label. The category label takes this information. For this, you can go with blue, that's been changed. You can go with different sorts of font size. Then generally increase the font size. So whatever the visuals that you want to apply it. For the same thing, you can apply the different set of effects as well. You can apply the shadow. When you on the shadow, you can generally give offset inside. You can generally give the shadow effect here. Yes. Now comes the visual border. You can also enable the visual border. If you add it in different colors, this one you'll get to see the variation. So you can see, slightly you can see the color. Yes. Okay, so you can bring that kind of an effect here for the cards. It everything depends upon how you want to showcase, how you want to present it in an aesthetic format. That's what all the options that you generally go with. Okay, so next thing we have is funnel. So here is basically a funnel. I'll explain you how this works. So if you see here in this option, when we select a funnel, you have category, you have values. These are the two set of options. But obviously this grill option, I haven't removed it. Whatever I had earlier, I kept it the same as it is. I haven't changed it. Here if you see in the grill option, I have profit. I also have segment. So let's go with adding a remaining set of value that we could include it. First, I'll be adding the product name in category. Next, in values, I will add the what we had added. Okay, so I'll add the sales in the values. So this is the funnel format. So how you know how funnel looks like, right? It applies the same set of format. So if you have to zoom in, so now if you see, this is the complete funnel effect that you added it. So it shows the complete variation of the depreciation from the highest value to the lowest value for the sales based upon the product name.
Ma'am, what are the y-axis values for this funnel
What are the
visualization? The y-axis values.
Yeah, here actually because this is not a kind of a chart or graph, we don't give y and x values. We give two things. One is category, second is values. Category you generally call it when it is a core important information, and values is a sub information. That is a input reference information. So you push that respective information as it is. And here if you see in the same grill, we had already applied profit time segment. So that is being interlinked at the back end, even though it doesn't show here in the graph.
But ma'am, how
And
will we be able to like differentiate like what are the different stages on which things are happening? Because funnel, actually we use funnel in some filtering sort of function, like how many people, for example, have visited a website, how many have registered, how many have
Mhm. Yes.
ordered a product, or how many have like. So it's a continuous funnel. I'm not able to like differentiate like
So if you see
how
here,
can I analyze something.
generally, like if you see, you generally scroll the cursor.
Mhm.
Let me show you. So you can generally see like based upon the cursor here, if you can see the sum of sales, the percentage of first, the percentage of previous. So you can show it out. Like you can just have to move the cursor. You can give out to access to all the product information, and this shows the depreciation. So here, what the main uh, usefulness of the visualization is to bring that presentation, to bring that visual effect. And for this, whatever relevant text information or whatever kind of additional captions you wanted to add it, you can self add that. That you generally have to use it through a text box. You can generally add it and showcase that kind of information, that whatever analysis that you generally understood for this particular funnel option. If you, because
Okay, ma'am.
it also again has a pre-fitted information, like just scrolling the
Mm.
cursor you get all the informations.
Right, ma'am. And what does the span of this funnel? What does its span represent?
Okay, so it's been spanning out to all the few set of information, everything, whatever that you exist in the data set. So you have the different set. For the example, here we are choosing the particular option called sales. So the particular sales category has been selected. In respect to that sales category, how it is been changing over a period of time, that shows here. So that's the reason here we get to see the information like percentage of first, or percentage of second, or percentage of previous, the sum of sales, the percentage of first, the percentage of previous. So that means earlier it was something like very much okay as per the sales value. After that, people started purchasing it more. So that's what
So
it's
it
been.
can.
Yeah,
Yes, sorry to interrupt. So that means there may be cases where it can bulge in the middle, right?
yeah, they can
If
bulge in
there's
middle,
something
they can
increase.
change in middle. It depends upon the data set.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, because there'll be some sort of data sets where few products will be having high number of sales, few products will be very minimal sales. In that case, the variation will show as it is, since it is being much more consistent in terms of sales for most of the similar kind of products, because it's all relevant to office supplies and stationaries. So it's been giving out the same kind of a funnel shaped graph as it is. But if it is having a different set of values with a good amount of variations, you can go it up to this side or this side, completely big version you generally get to see it.
Hmm. And ma'am, can we use it for one category of products only? For example, for electronics, so say for example, a laptop of a certain company of certain model.
Okay,
So can I use this funnel for that also, that product also?
only for one particular model you're saying.
Huh, over the time of like say 1 month or 6 months, I want to see.
That generally doesn't apply for this particular visualization. For that, you have to go with the other visualization.
and basically whatever we will select on the values part, like if you wanna, and then it will, I mean the order it by the from the highest to the lowest based on whatever we selected it on the values. I mean there.
Yes, right.
But
So yeah, because
hmm,
this has been depreciating, right? So it,
right, ma'am, but hmm. Please continue. I have a question. Please continue.
you have some
Please continue.
question, right? You can ask me. I can
I know,
continue.
ma'am. You first complete. I'll ask you after.
Okay, okay. So what happens is whenever you take the value of sales, so whatever the kind of a place where whatever wherever you're doing an analysis, when the topic sales comes, you generally check the particular sales that is happening for every single product. You also check the depreciation value, like if that particular product has been higher increase of sales or low increase of sales, what's the kind of the particular variation that happens in the market for that respective product. So we generally notify every single detail. So for that, what we use funnel. But if at all in the kind of a case where you have to go with a one particular laptop kind of a model, and for that you have to check it out to the complete duration or a period of a time, You can do that, but the funnel option is not a kind of a visualization option that you should go with. So if you have to check it out for only one particular region, I mean one particular product or one particular specific things as per the duration time period, that means here in the data set, you should also have the duration information. That duration information, basically mentioning like this particular product is being coming from 2009 or other product is from 2013, so that it shows that variation from a complete period of time. Like using a slicer, you can generally give that particular variation, showcasing out to the complete information from 2009 to 2021 or 25, giving out to the complete set of information. It all depends upon the data that you have it with you. So if you have the data right, if you have a large amount of data, then it will give out to a right set of analysis and insights. Since this is only for the practice, you are going out with a straightforward kind of a data. But when you get into a realistic environment, realistic kind of a corporate data, it will have every single data based upon the problem statement. But if you're not spoon fed out with the data, that means you have to create a data completely from the scratch. In that case, also you generally have to see how the particular difference happens when it comes to the date period and the time period.
Right, ma'am. So this data is not like good for time series analysis, right?
Yes, it's not good for time series analysis.
Okay,
Yes.
thank
So next thing we generally get to see here is basically the particular information, the more visuals. So if you have to import a kind of a Power BI visual from your file, like for example, you had done one project, you had done some visualization dashboard, and you want to import one particular instance of a graph or of a chart from a different project, pushing it to this particular project, then you can do this with this respective option. We have the option of more visuals. When you select from my files, you can get to see that you can import a Power BI visual from your different files. Okay? Yes? So you have the transformation, you have the build mechanism, you have the choice of formattings, you have the option of measurements. Every single detail is being present in the Power BI tool to do whatever work you wanted to do it. Okay?
Ma'am, if we export our this report, and
Hmm.
if we want to do some like analysis, and someone else will do some analysis, on that particular level, will our data set will go along with the, I mean, the exported report?
If a person is doing on a different system or laptop,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, if a person is doing on different system of laptop, you can do a collaboration, but that doesn't work in a Power BI desktop. It will work in a Power BI Premium or a Pro. In that case, you can collaborate and do it together. You can intercorrelate the factors. You can generally call the file names as per where that respective information is located directly from wherever you're working it, and see it out transparently side by side, and then work it parallelly as per whatever work the other person had done it.
Okay, ma'am. For that, we need to export it out, and then the other person will use his particular data, and the same analysis could be done in
Yes,
this lab.
because you'll be getting a collaborating access, you'll be getting a URL link from where you have to activate or mention that you are a kind of a person for this respective software. You're using this software, you have a logging access to it. That's when you'll be getting to see that particular option to generate it out on a outnote.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. So if I save it in a PBIX format, this
Mhm.
project, so if I send it to somebody else who's also working on Power BI desktop, so will he get the data or not? Right.
Yes, they will not get the data because data you have to pre-feed it separately, or you have to share the CSV file or Excel file separately, but you'll be getting a dashboard.
Okay. So okay, he will not get the tables and all those things that we are seeing here regarding data.
Yes, you won't get this particular information, but you'll get the dashboard, whatever is being created. To get the table,
Uh,
obviously you'll have to get
And
it
ma'am,
separately. Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
and then he can load his particular data or of whatever
Yes.
the work you want to do.
Yeah, you can load it. What people do, so if a person is been doing some sort of a project and they find that project very interesting, they what they do, they generally load the data set. They use that respective export option to get that respective PBIX file. They open it in their file, and for that they'll be adding out to the new extra data or new information that they want to make it into their unique project. So what they do, they click on transform data, add extra set of information that is not a similar to it. So you generate that uniformity, you generate that uniqueness for saying that that is your respective project. So you can generally modify the changes and you can do it.
Ma'am, if we
Ma'am,
want to do like this dashboard kind of thing, if we share it out to someone else, and if we be working on some real-time data from the SQL server or something else,
Mhm.
so will he able to do with the Power BI?
Yes, you can do it. You have the option. You have to just give the URL link based upon the, if at all you want to collect the information of real time data from using API, you can do that. You have the extended code editor here. So where you can write a code where you can generally call the URL information from, as like a kind of a web scraping that we do it. You can take that information, you can calculate the real time data directly. So what happens is this particular data it keeps on loading because that is a real time data that generally shows a live information. It generally keeps on updating every single instant, and based on that parallelly you can keep on working here. And since you have this option of close and apply based upon the transform data, you generally get to see or to all the updated information, whatever is being feeding out on a live set of information.
And then whenever he will access the dashboard, he will get the updated data.
Yes. So what people do when it's been happening, because if you take a real time live data, you get lots of data. The data is something much more bigger. So in that case, this particular kind of a Power BI tool expects you to add a filtration process, so that you generally structure the data. You only take those parameters or those categories or those rows which are only relevant to the problem statement.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes.
ma'am,
So,
yes, ma'am. Regarding this, I have a query, a small query.
okay. Yes, ask
Ma'am,
me.
suppose, yes, ma'am. Suppose I have prepared this data in, I have a folder on my PC, say F folder, okay?
Okay.
And I prepared this project. My data file is in my F folder, and my this PBH project is in that same F folder. Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, now I send it to you.
Okay.
Your PC does not have an F folder, but it has C or D, C and D folder.
Yeah. Okay.
And if I share the data with you, so how will this Power BI connect with that data? Because to connect it, it must have used some path or something, na, to connect, import or
What?
connect data in my PC.
Okay. So see what you are when you're sharing the information, you share it either through the email, or you share it either through the server, or you generally download it or save it. So these are the only three options that exist. Okay. So if you generally share it through an email or through a kind of a downloaded option, you can generally open it freely as it is from even my laptop, even if the particular file that's being saved is being auto stored in a D drive or a C drive. You could open that. But if it is being going through the server node, because that is a kind of a cloud process, in that case it should be very specific to mention where you wanted to save that respective file, because that also generates an access that you need to get the access permission for the mail address that you're connecting the cloud drive to.
And if you change the file of the name of the file before opening the project,
Yeah, even if you before open the project, if you share the name of the file, it will no longer remember that this is the file you are referring out to.
so that will
Yes.
produce an issue. Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
so you should be very specific with respect to even the file name, because in Power BI it is case sensitive.
So, yes, ma'am. So Power BI like searches the whole PC to get the file, the data file that was
Yes,
associated with the project.
yes, right.
Okay, thank
Yes.
Madam, one small doubt, like in terms of cleaning the data,
Hmm.
how effective is this Power BI? Like, how will it detect duplicate values or something like that? I mean, outliers. Uh,
There are few set of changes that you could do it instantly, because these are all basic kind of complications that we generally get to see with every kind of a data set whenever you're web scraping the data. If you have a structured data, that's well and good. You don't apply any changes or you don't do any changes. But if you web scrape the data, you'll be getting null values. You'll be getting the empty spaces which doesn't
empty
have any
spaces,
information.
and even sometimes there will be categorical values in the
Yes.
place of numerical columns or something. No?
Yes, so that's you can do the transformation. Everything has the options here. When you click on transform data, you can generally say it out. So, like, what is the information that you wanted to change it? Like, you have to manage the
Can you
parameters
just increase the font size or something? I mean, it's very small. No, just maximize the screen. That's
here
enough. Yeah.
in the data. But yeah, when you go to the model view or in that report view, you can generally change the font size or kind of formatting options that generally works,
Mm-hmm.
because
Oh,
this is only for changing the data, not for the formatting options.
okay.
So you have this manage option, you have this selection of rows and columns. You can also add the parameters, like what are the parameters you wanted to add it, so that only those selected options are being chosen and being modified or rephrased out with a new set of information.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have a sort option, you have a split column option, you have group by option. Like if you have a specific set of category, like if you see
Yeah, yeah,
like you have standard class, second class, these are all group based categories, right?
yeah,
So you
yeah.
can also apply that respective option as well here. So everything is being here. It's all depends upon how you want to modify the data set. So once you're completely assured that your data set is completely fulfilling the criteria of a problem statement that you're trying to solve it, then you push that data into this particular page. Click on close and apply if at all you have done any changes. And when you close it, it is auto figured out here with the new respective changes that you make here in the table view format.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay.
So everything is automated. Everything is being AI inbuilt. Only except two or three exceptional features or use cases that you only find it in Premium or Pro. Other to
Oh,
that, whatever measurements, whatever kind of requirements you need to present it out to clients or stakeholders, everything is part of the Power BI tool.
okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the information. And coming to this, you also have this other respective information like share as well. So when you click on the publish,
How do I download these things? I mean, if,
yeah. So you can have this option like you have this file, you have the save apps. If you have save apps, you can use the file name and save it in your folder. You can
Mhm.
get the data, like if you want only the data from it, you can get only the data.
What if I want to only the visualizations, like the charts or something? No?
Then you can click on export.
Ah, okay. Just click on it, ma'am. Once.
Yes, click on export. You can export it out. You want it in a Power BI template or you want it in a PDF format.
Ah, okay. Okay, if I click on that PDF thing, then it will download the entire 3 pages that we created.
Yes, right. Because
Ah,
it comes in a format of a project, like as mentioned, it will be showing it in format of a slideshow.
oh, slideshow is it? Okay,
Yes.
that is good. Yeah.
Yes. So that's the kind of a flexibility we have it here. And when you click on publish, it will ask whether you want to save your changes. When you click save, you get it to ask the email address, because this is the first initial step that we generally do it. So after you give the email address, you can generally share it directly through this option. Else, you can generally give the share option, or you can also provide the access. Like if at all you want someone to look into the dashboard,
Okay, we can give the link and let them do the thing, no? Yeah.
yeah, they can do it. They can get the access to it. You can
Yeah.
generally tell them like what kind of access you provide it. For everything, you
Okay.
have to first share the email address. Yeah, what kind of access you want to get to the person. So everything is being more or less the same thing, nothing, just the two or three additional features that exist in Premium and Pro. That's because the professional organizations generally want to look it much more into a Outlook and into a kind of an impactful format. They generally go with Pro versions. But this particular Power BI desktop is equally much more important in compared to the Pro versions. So it has every single feature in all the versions.
Right, ma'am. Right, ma'am.
Yes. Yes.
Ma'am, I had a query in the like in the beginning of the session that I
Topic.
wanted to share.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Ask me.
Yes, ma'am. I had this query that um, while dealing with the student marks data, so I found an issue that I wanted to segregate the like I wanted to categorize data, different categorized data to find some relevant information from it.
Okay.
So can I do that in Power BI? Like
Okay.
I show my screen now. I present my
Yeah.
screen,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
I'm trying
Sure.
to like
Yeah.
convey it.
Sure. I will stop the screen sharing. You can share your screen. So meanwhile, others, if you have any other questions, you can feel free to ask me here in the chat box, or also by just unmuting your mic. So anyone has any questions, anything that you would like to ask me?
Ma'am, we've learned that how slicers we can use to filter out some data and work upon it. I just want to know about without slicer, if we want to access out some dashboard for the user, if user we give like access to the dashboard, at that point of time, if we pre-filter out something, so that can we do it?
Yes, we can do it. So we after you get an access. So it depends upon the access that you receive it. So if you get only view access, you can just view as it is. If you have given edit access, you can again apply the changes and modify it as per your filters and check it.
Okay, ma'am, that's how we do it.
Yes. So everything has been very much scalable here in the Power BI. So whatever you want, you can do it. Only thing is you need that kind of an access permissions for it. Uh, Arpita, what data are you referring out to? So what I'll do meanwhile, I'll be sharing out to the form as well. So whoever is generally here, you can generally fill the form. So meanwhile, I share that. So are you sharing it? Wants to share the screen, right?
Ma'am, is there any particular way in which we do like time series analysis apart from like histogram that we have?
Time series analysis, yes, we can do time series analysis, but again, the kind of a data set that we choose, it should support it. Based upon the supporting efficiency, we generally get a time series analysis. Like I mentioned, it should be having the covering out to a period of duration from a different set of years. Like for that, you need to have minimum of 7 years, minimum of 6 to 7 years. That's when you can generally use the time series function. That's when the particular option will get enabled are activated.
And also we need to, I mean, transform that column with which we want to do like time series analysis.
Yes, right.
Hello. Sorry for the disruption. Actually, there was some network issue.
Yeah, okay, sure. Tell me.
RGK this side, ma'am.
Yeah,
Should I present my screen?
yeah, you can present your screen. So I have shared out to the certificate Google form here in the chat box, which people could fill it up. And so also I'll be sharing out to my LinkedIn profile as well if at all you want to connect with me. Yes. Yeah, I could see it.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. So, ma'am, see, this was the data that you had shared yesterday,
Yes.
the students' marks data. So here
Hmm.
I tried to do is I tried to segregate these things like on the basis of these categories. Like see, on the basis of ethnicity, I tried to find out how many people are there in this different groups.
Yes.
On the parent level education, I wanted to segregate all the values, basically the data points. I wanted to segregate data points, like in for example, the parents who have bachelor's degree. So for those students, what is the marks, a data set of marks, right?
Yes.
So can this type of thing happen in Power BI? Because I had done it here. I had to segregate everything. This is for course preparation, like for those who have completed the course. This is for maths, and this is for the other things like reading and writing score. So is it possible in Power BI? These sort of.
Which one you are mentioning? The
See, this is the data, right? It has given both the values, none and completed. Okay, so it's saying
yeah.
that the students have these scores. Those who have are not prepared, they are getting these scores. Those who are prepared, they are also getting the scores. Okay.
Mhm.
So I wanted to just segregate, or I wanted to separate out these data in this completed and not completed data set. This is
Okay.
a subset
Yeah.
of the complete those who have completed it, and this is a subset those who have not completed. And on the basis of that, I have created some visualization and some analysis. So I say, okay, this is my math data set where I found the data set to be like the average of students of who have completed the course, what was their average marks, and those who have not completed, what were their average marks for math subject, for writing subject, for reading subject, and in total.
Yes.
So is this kind of segregation of data possible in Power BI or not?
Yes, it is possible. Definitely, you can generally segregate it out. As I showed it out, you have this particular section called category and values. So when you use that particular option of a graph or chart that enables category and values, then you can give this particular categorization effect or filter effect to it. And based on that respective category, that will basically subject out to information to tell whether the person has completed or not completed.
No, that I understand, ma'am. But the point is like it's on a filter, na, ma'am. If I start changing the filter, so my chart will also start reflecting the same.
Yeah,
You just
definitely it
let.
will change. It will auto change.
I mean, I don't want it to change. I want it to like have a data set for this value for maths. I want to segregate those students who have completed and not completed only for maths. So this data is in one column. It says everything. See, in
Yeah,
one
for
column it
that you can
says.
apply the yeah, for that you can apply the direct DAX expression saying that you can apply the filter option. You have to use the if use case, like how you write it in a Python programming. You have to give the if condition and you have to mention the condition. What is the particular condition you're giving? For right now, for your example, you mentioned that you wanted the particular choice of maths. So you can give if maths, and for that maths, you can generally give the respective categories of average and standard deviation, mentioning out to understanding out to a completed or non-completed. You can provide it out. So it's all everything has a ready-made inbuilt keywords that we use it for the calculations and expressions that we had seen in the measure option, which you can generally do it directly. So even if you just write it out one single statement of keyword or one set of keyword, it will auto show out to all the respective correlation factors that you can use to compare it or that you can use to filter the process.
Could you please demonstrate, for example, just for any data set in the project that you're working on? The
Right now,
stock,
for this
the
data
super.
set, it isn't activated because it is not having any sort of filter option that is being enabled for data. But I have seen like a few people have been asking me here in the chat box that they wanted another kind of a live demo session for the kind of a, other different data set and project. So definitely I'll show it out. So if at all Saturn plans it, so I'll be showing it out everything once again. The complete scope of the measurements and the calculations that we could derive from the expressions.
So can it be like, can I copy and paste the data in some, like I create a new sheet in this Power, or only one sheet will prevail throughout the project
For which one? Calculated.
for the Power BI project? So suppose I have this data because for that DX. So if you could just demonstrate any example only for
You
only
might,
one column,
you
ma'am,
might.
that would be really well.
I didn't get you. You want me to show an example now?
For that, there is supermarket, no? That the data we were working on, the Power BI project. Like, how can I get that kind of segregation between this some sort of category? These are all data points for one category, and these are all data points for other category. And then I can prepare some table on this. Ki, हाँ, okay, that's how I can analyze
Yeah.
to compare.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. So let me. Yes. With respect to that, let me once again share my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Not yet, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Your screen is not visible.
Okay. Um, is it not?
Yeah, yeah, it is visible now.
Hello, ma'am.
Is there any inquiry, you guys?
Ajitya, you had asked me this question. What I'll do is I'll be speaking to Sarthak. We'll be again discussing one more kind of a live session. I'll be because even other few people also requested for a live kind of a demo session. One more thing to cover up to the complete end-to-end information. So I guess Sarthak that will work because right now it's again more of fluctuation happening here. So
Ma'am,
Okay, ma'am.
I have a question.
Tomorrow, yeah. Next live session will be when?
Actually, I don't know. Satak will decide it because for you people available, Satak will decide a kind of a date and time. So I guess we'll be having a kind of a one final session where we'll be discussing a complete end-to-end demo because there are still a lot of questions that's been coming from your side that needs to be cleared. So I'll be having a kind of other session. So Sarthak, you tell me like what's the kind of an available space as per every student's convenience that you can allot it.
Sure, ma'am, sure.
Yes. So
Ma'am, many students are asking some question.
yeah, okay.
Is there any deadline for the practice task to upload the practice task?
There is no deadline. Once you upload it, it's really well and good that you'll get a certificate. But still, even though you don't have kind of a thing that you could work on it, but still that's okay. You will also get a certificate. The kind of a timer by you when you get a certificate is maximum of 2 days. So within 2 days, you will receive a certificate, irrespective of you performing a practice task or not. But adding a kind of practice task is something that will be beneficial for your convenience, your flexibility, because you have learned something from this workshop that will be a kind of an extra additional motivation that you could do it right now and then rather than postponing it out to a later time.
Ma'am, I have
Okay,
one
ma'am,
doubt.
sure.
Where should we upload it, ma'am? In Google Drive means automatically you should upload it.
Yeah, yeah, you can upload it automatically. I have given a edit access to everyone where you can generally upload the file, the PBIX file, whatever that you had worked on for creating a dashboard. You just upload it there, and I'll get an
Okay.
access instantly to where I can see out to your dashboards.
So just we have to attach the file in our Google Drive. That's it, right?
Yeah, the Google Drive link I had added out here in the form itself. You can find the Google Drive link that I shared.
Oh.
So you just upload it there, and you will get the information. Actually, the link is not that you people should share it. You just have to upload to the folder that link I had shared it out in the form.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you.
Ma'am, are you? Hi, ma'am. Arjika this side. Are you sharing it, ma'am? Uh, the project demonstration.
Right now, because there is a fluctuation here,
Okay.
I guess this is not a kind of a time where we could discuss and share it because it's not, especially the Power BI is not being into a stable format right now. So what we'll do, as I told to Sarthak, we'll be again planning a one more session where we'll
Okay.
be discussing the complete hands-on demo. And this time, when we get into the session, I'll be doing it from your end, your side, so that we go every single instance that's being covered for a different data set. So next time I'll be coming out with an intermediate level data set because right now it was a beginner kind of workshop. I came with a basic data set. So once you get into intermediate data set, you'll be understanding also much more crucial technologies and tips that you can apply directly on an instance of a formulas and the kind of filtrations that you could push it to a dashboard.
Okay, ma'am. But in case if you just spare 5 minutes more of yours, I have this opened in my Power BI opened the same data
Mhm.
set student data set opened in my Power BI.
Okay.
If if you could spare 5 minutes of yours, so
Uh,
you can
yeah,
guide me.
we'll do one thing, Aditya. If you are connected to me on LinkedIn, let me know. If you are connected, we could kind of discuss it from there also. So, because right
Okay,
now we shouldn't keep others hold for the same single instant, right? So, let's don't go.
right, ma'am. Sure, sure. If they want to leave, so they
Yeah,
can.
I hope you had taken my LinkedIn profile. So, you can just drop me a request there and we could connect it one is to one.
Okay.
Yes.
Ma'am, is it mandatory to upload the dataset on the Google Drive to get the certificate, ma'am?
No, it is not mandatory. It's basically a kind of encouragement or motivation for you people to work on it. Just it. So if you not upload also, that's not kind of an important thing because if you see, you cannot kind of see the star mark there that generally mentions that you need to upload it for sure and then you get a certificate. So it's completely open.
Ma'am, according to Power BI and Tableau, is both are the same or still it has any difference, ma'am?
Okay.
Or it has
So both are more or less similar. Only the placement of icons, the placement of the options are being located in a different direction. So here, if you see in Power BI, you find all the options onto the right hand side. In Tableau, you find it all options onto the left hand side.
is that the advanced version of Power BI, ma'am? Tableau.
So Tableau is a basic version. Power BI is an advanced version. In Tableau, you have only 20 plus features. In Power BI, you have 200 plus features.
Ma'am, in uploading files in Power BI, is Python is also available to upload, no? Like SQL, CSV files.
Sorry, can you repeat it?
When we are uploading files in Power BI, it shows like Excel sheet, CSV, and SQL also, no, ma'am. Like that,
Yes.
we can upload a query from Python or also, ma'am.
You can upload from Python, but in an indirect note. So that means you have to first write a Python code, then you have to connect with the SQL, and with that SQL link, you'll be using it here in the Power BI.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
Yeah, so you can't connect directly.
Yeah, ma'am. And yesterday you said about the Kaggle, right? But when I was searched in Kaggle, it shows only the US region, not for the Indian region. Yes.
Yeah, because in Kaggle, most of the data sets are based upon the regions that's not from India. You can check out to the certain kind of problem statements where you could find it from the Indian country or Indian region. That I mean, the kind of problem statement I use that should be different to that. So, for example, if you take a kind of a project idea like air quality index, because that kind of data set, you can generally find it for the Indian region as well. So, if you generally check it, you generally get to see at least a kind of a few set of problem statements which will be locally based out of India. That will be much more proportional to also work it and also bring that kind of a derivative insights out of it. Because we know the
Uh,
situation, we know the conditions much better compared to other countries.
is there any other website like Kaggle, ma'am?
Actually, we do have a few set of websites if somewhere you generally get out to the realistic kind of data and also the research papers where it exists. But for that respective data, also you generally need a certain kind of permissions, and you also need to apply for permission so that you have to mention that you're working on a personal project and you're going to be using the data set only for the personal use and not for the official or the commercial use. So first you have to take the permission, they have to grant the access to the data. That's when you can download and use the data.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Thank you,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
do we need to come up with valuable insights on the dashboard, or is there any challenge that we need to work upon problem statement in
Uh,
particular?
you you can just come up with variable insights from the dashboard. If you remember, I have shared the data set, the same thing, the student performance itself. Let's not go with much more complicated one because this is your first kind of a dashboard. You just
Okay.
make a very valuable insights out of it. You generate a different respective set of comparisons and relevations, bring the feedback out of it, and also add out to few set of explanation using text boxes and that would be really good to go on a first instance. But obviously, I also informed out to startup that we'll be planning another kind of a demo session where we'll be showcasing out to a realistic, real-time based data set. Because this is a kind of a dummy data, right? So if you work on a real-time data, you'll understand the things much more clear and efficient.
Ma'am, when we come up with the values which is not present in the data set, some particular row, then how we will deal with it?
Okay, if you're not kind of working on to values which is not present in a data set, it will not recognize the information. So it will say that you are kind of trying to trigger out some sort of an alien information out of the existing data set. So it won't accept your request or it won't take the process forward. Yes, Sahil, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am, it's clear now. But I was working on like missing value if there is any on my data set, and doing some analysis on it will basically uh, basically will wrong my analysis in that particular sense. I would know.
Yeah, sure, sure. So definitely, once you kind of work on it, you'll get to understand a lot more things. First thing is you decide the use case, you decide the future, what you have to work upon. Based on that, you create separate pages, separate categories, and in that pages only with respect to that use case that you need to work upon. Based on that, you go on with the right set of choices, filtrations, and the parameters, and apply the changes for the, as per the dashboard. It depends upon you, like how much you wanted to extend, how many use cases that you wanted to cover. It's all completely open to you.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. Yes. So, if is there anyone that who wanted the links to the information? Once again, the certificate form. Have you taken out to the note of the link? If not, you can take it once again. I guess Sartak had already shared it and pinned the information, but I'll definitely add it once again here. Yes. Yeah. So anything else? Anyone wants to add? Anything else? Any kind of questions that you have from your side? Yeah. Thank you, Kushi.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good
And
night. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. So any questions? Any
Okay,
queries?
ma'am. Here is some thank. Okay. So if you have guys, then you can ask.
Yeah. So, if you have any questions, any queries, anything that you would like to ask, or you want to connect with me later for anything, something very much related to your career, definitely you can drop me a message. You can feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. So, yes, I'll be active on LinkedIn. So, whatever questions you have, I'll be happy to answer. And following to that, anyone wants to say something, whatever with respect to the options or whatever the respect to topics that we covered today. So what do you feel, how confident are you to work on a dashboard? So obviously this is not a kind of a complete full end information, because you have again need to know a lot of things that once you get the hands on, you'll be getting that respective kind of challenges that you could face it on a later stage. But still, how much could you rate yourself that you're confident enough to work on this dashboard task?
Ma'am, can you share
Yes,
your
ma'am.
LinkedIn profile on the search box, ma'am?
Yeah, sure, definitely. I'll share it once again for you. Um, yes. Thank you.
Okay,
LinkedIn.
ma'am. So have a some about the thank you note. So thank you for so much, ma'am, for joining us today's session, and the once again you delivering such a powerful sessions. Your expertise and way of the simplified complex concept made today's session truly valuable for all of us. We really appreciate the time and effort you took guide us through the word of the Power BI. It's been a pleasure to learning from you.
Thank you, Srishti, for inviting me. Thank you, Sarthak. It was wonderful
Thank you.
having energetic people who who are much more active and interactive through the queries, through the enthusiasm that they are into building out to our first dashboard from Power BI. So definitely, we will look forward to our next session, a hands-on kind of a demo session that, as I promised. So we will work on that and we will schedule the specific date and time, and a particular information will be shared by Satak.
Definitely, ma'am. We will looking forward again to you.
Yeah, you're welcome, Srishti. So have a good time, have a great weekend, and I'll share out your certificates. Might be tomorrow or day after tomorrow at max. So
Okay, ma'am.
irrespective of you submitting your dashboard or not, you will receive a certificate.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you for
Okay,
yeah.
thank you
Thank you
so
for
much,
this
ma'am.
session, ma'am.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you.
you.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Vanshika.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you,
Thank,
ma'am. Have a good
yeah,
night.
good night. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.